Hello, welcome everyone who's watching, which is nobody right now because it's my first live stream ever. So we'll see if we can actually get a viewer on here or not. I don't have a lot of subs. I think I have like 50 something maybe, which is actually pretty good since I've barely made any videos. But we'll see if we can get a sub in here. We're gonna just hang out. I did some hard work today outside and for many hours, and I just want to really chill out right now, and I'm just going to start watching YouTube videos from my subscription feed. And the first one I saw was Wise Up, and it looks pretty good, so I'm going to sit here and wait for a little bit and see if anybody pops in or not. See if I can get a viewer. But anyhow, let me share something with you guys while we're waiting. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go right to the video. Because I don't want to bore anyone that might watch this static video later. Oh! I got God's Flat Earth Gal Washington in the house. Sweet. I got a viewer. Awesome. I'm doing well. Hey, you want to watch a Wise Up video with me? I just had a hard day's work today outside, and I just want to chill out right now. So I just created this stream to have anybody that wants to hang out with me and watch my subscription feed. Thank you. All right, cool. Let's start watching this video. That's what I was about to do anyway. That's cool. Thanks for coming in. All right, here we go. Actually, you know what? I can see your comments on the second screen, and I can still have my first screen. That's the beauty of having two screens. Every streamer needs to have at least two screens, it looks like to me. Because I'm new to streaming. By the way, this is my very first live stream ever, so welcome. You're my first viewer to my first live stream. Congratulations. This is Wise Up's new video. I haven't watched it yet, so we'll see it. We'll see it together what it's about. Yeah, tell Ella. Yeah, get more people in here. Let's get a crowd going. That's cool. Well, she is in Australia, so I don't know what time. She's probably, who knows what time. I guess it's morning there or something, right?
These are the pillars outside the Pantheon, and I want you to remember that there. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit closer. So you see this patchwork here that I pointed out on a video, because I've made a video on this specific site. Remember that patchwork?
Oh, yeah, she's probably sleeping. She's probably sleeping.
Because they're hollow. This thing here is the same area.
Oh, in the evening. Gotcha. Sorry, I thought you meant morning at first. Yeah. Okay. That's then. Yeah. Bring her in. Hopefully she's available.
Right. That have been nailed into position.
Oh wow.
every single piece you see here is
nails.
Wood. Like I've pointed out before. And even these top plinths here, right?
They're wood, he
just
said.
In the same way that these are. And this is a workshop where they are just chopping pieces of wood. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't just be on.
They're not made out of stone, they're made out of wood.
You know, just something like that to hold up. I mean, if these were stone, they would weigh about 2 tons, wouldn't they? So there's something like balsa wood, like pine or balsa wood, that they will lacquer them in something which we have now figured out, and that's them there. And these things are completely hollow, like I showed you in a video. This thing in Greece or Rome, again, it's made out of wood. Yes, it will have had metal in it, of course, a metal frame, like we, like we would today, and that's rusted through. But the top part is just wooden paneling.
Wow.
Like we would build a shed out of.
It's just wood.
This thing here, I can get very close on these. And when you look at that area there, remember this stuff, because you're going to see it shortly exactly what this stuff is, and what used to cover it is what I'm getting on about here. That's the forum, right? And when you look down here, all this is brick. These blocks are actually brick. They've just
right. I can see that
encased in a concrete. Exactly the same as that, right? So if they couldn't build a solid base out of huge blocks, do you think that they would have been able to lift and raise these things on here if these were solid pieces of rock? Because they're not. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen faux columns in people's houses before. I don't think I'd want them in mine.
Like natural rock to anybody. That's what happens to concrete when it's been submerged in water for a long time. The lime gets sucked to the outside and you're just left with the grit and the sand. But that's not what the video's about. I just use that image from an earlier video. These are the pillars outside of the main, which is more recent, temple at Baalbek. And these will have had this. It's actually called Zolatone paint here. What we're going to be looking at is something called Forks Granite Spray, Zolatone paint spray, epoxy, right, or enamel. Yeah. The Zolatone paint, you can have it here. You can even make it illuminous. Like some of the stuff that we've seen in. Not Peru, Bolivia, yeah. Anyway, this is the Thunderstone.
I don't know if all those columns are hollow or not.
And it's this area that we're going to look at down here.
Oh, we got 3 viewers now. Sweet.
I want to get into it again. I suppose you can read that yourself.
We got 2 lurkers. God's flat Earth girl.
In your own time.
Yeah.
Okay, so read that yourself. And that's the area that I'm talking about in the flooring. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the number of columns is just insane on all those buildings. It's like, why? And so it might have something to do with the Antiquitech free energy. Yeah,
is a thin sticker
I agree.
In sheets with a number of pre-cut random size irregular shapes, which can be sprayed at the time of installation. The sprayed sheets can be kept on hand, and when repair or touch-up is needed, simply peel off the fast fix sticker and apply to the damaged area. These are used for small areas and provide a fast fix when needed. For sprayed repairs, first repair the area with patching material if needed.
Yeah, the domes, the domes, the antennas on top of the domes. those for sure. I'm certain those are the antennas are, and probably the domes. I'm certain are Antiquitech and free energy devices. The columns, I don't know what they are, but they are on so many of the buildings, and some of the buildings are just covered in columns. It's like they're nothing but columns. And then you've also got the recessed windowing, which looks like a dormer, and it's like, kind of looks like how they would also build those coliseums, which they call them coliseums, but we think, those might be Antiquitech as well. They don't call them, not just coliseums, but the ones where they sit, the amphitheater, and of course the pipe organs, Yeah, for sure. The pipe organs makes perfect sense that they were healing devices and they were healing people's organs with them. That makes pretty good sense. With the vibrations, the intense vibrations that those instruments can create. Yeah, so they just like sprayed those columns, I guess. Is that what he's saying? Who sprayed them though? The reset people or the ones who originally built them? Okay, so I think what he might be saying, let me pause this real quick. Okay, so I think what he might be, when he shows these two pictures, let me see. The left is Baalbek, which it doesn't have that, I guess, that sheen to it. Is he just saying that basically Baalbek and St. Petersburg essentially have the same columns, but it's just that the ones in St. Petersburg have been worked over with enamel? Yeah, I'm not sure. Wise Up doesn't always explain everything in his videos. He just kind of like leaves it out there for you. Painted wood, yeah, gilded wood. Okay, so that shows how it's hollow. Okay, I get it. It proves how that proves how it's hollow. Yeah, everything's got facades on it. It's covered in things, but underneath it's not solid all the way through. Like they try to sell us and tell us. Yeah, it looks like crap. But her deniers. Yeah, there's a little more to go in the video here. Right. Yeah, just take the old building and resurface it. And then say you built the whole thing. Not quite sure what he was showing on that one, but he just kind of usually shows how their building techniques were very similar to the ones we use now. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Wise Up. I consider Wise Up to be extremely brilliant. I think he's really smart. All right, let's go to my subscription feed. Well, we got Days of Noah still going. He's been going for a while. I can't always. Oh, looks like he's done. Oh, that's the first you've seen Wise Up? Oh yeah, you should definitely go subscribe to him. He's pretty good. He's got and I think he's got some kind of a construction or engineering background. Yeah, Wise Up. Yep, that's right. He's got some kind of a he's been around for a while, like with Flat Earth and Mud Flood and that kind of stuff. And he's been around as long as like Alan and stuff, pretty much. Even back in like 2016 when Alan was breaking new ground, Wise Up was breaking new ground with him, pretty much. And they differ on a couple of topics, but overall, like I think Wise Up's pretty solid for sure. Yeah, you go back if you've never heard of him, definitely go back and watch his old videos because they're still all extremely good. Like even 3-year-old videos, 2-year-old videos. All of them are going to be pretty much still relevant and good to, something to watch. So stuff you might not have seen before. Let's see. What do we got here? Captain Kirk. I haven't seen that guy post anything in a while. I guess we'll give it a look. See, 28 minutes though, so I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing or not. Kind of long. I'm probably not going to take this live stream too long. God's Flat Earth Girl Washington, just because I'm probably going to go have a smoke here in a little bit. I don't like to do that inside, so I'll probably end the stream. But we'll see how far maybe we get through this video here. My story that brought me back to Jesus. I basically had like when I was in my early 20s. Yeah, cool. That's good. Oh yeah, I'll tell you. So I was like in my early 20s, and it was 2002, and like you might have heard on Alan's show, a Flat Earth Nation show, that I said I was an atheist, a liberal, all that stuff. Yeah, and basically what it was is I was at my parents' house. I wasn't living there at the time. I was off at college, but I was visiting back home. And they had a screened-in porch, and in the back with a hot tub. And behind their house is nothing but forest. And the forest goes all the way to the river. So because it's a waterway and whatnot, people can't build houses back there. And it's nothing but forest all the way down to a river. And it's like a medium-sized river, like fairly large for the area, but one of the major rivers in the area. And this was in the Midwest of the United States. And so I had come home. So earlier that night, just like almost every night, I had been hanging out with friends, and we were just smoking pot. And that's all we ever did, was just smoke a bunch of pot. And so I had come home. I had left his place probably around 3 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't smoked until I probably hadn't smoked since like at least 2 o'clock in the morning. And I got home, and that night, for whatever reason, I just wasn't tired. So I decided I was just going to go hang out in the hot tub before I went to sleep. And so I did that. And but because my parents were upstairs at home, I didn't want to wake them up when I went in. So I was super quiet the whole time. And I wasn't really high anymore or anything like that. Yeah. It was not a hallucination or anything like that. Yeah, it wasn't, it was real. Everything that happened was real. So, and I wasn't even really that high. I mean, I was pretty baked, but earlier at that night, but it kind of wore off just a little bit by that time. But anyways, so I'm in the hot tub for about 20 minutes. And so by this time I got home, and it was like 4 in the morning or something. And then I got in there, and I was in there for about 20 minutes. And I remember, and I was thinking about stuff, and I was pretty happy in general. And like, I was just thinking about how it was funny. It was weird because I was thinking about how water is like without water, there would be no life. That was the thought I was having at the time. And right after I was thinking about that, I had looked over at this digital clock that was inside the house, and I could see it through the window, and it said 4:21. I remember that. And I looked back, and that's when I started to hear footsteps coming from the forest. So in that area, there's a ton of deer all over. And so I thought it was probably a deer, maybe a big one, because it sounded like pretty heavy footsteps. And there's usually not going to be any people back there on a night like this, like in that area. It just would be super, super unusual. And so what I did was I had been completely silent the whole time, and because I didn't want to wake my parents up. And so what I did was I ducked down in the water so that only my nose was above the water. And so the edge of the hot tub was higher than the water by about 5 inches. So you couldn't even see my head or anything, like if you were just like walking by, because that's how low I was in the water. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to get a good look at the deer when it came by. That was my first thought. So it kept walking closer and closer to me. And I could just hear it. And it was just like, it kept getting louder and louder. And here's another couple details. Right before I started hearing the footsteps, I did see a light in the sky, but I was thinking it was like a really far off, like maybe a helicopter or a plane or something like that, but I didn't know what it was. So I was like, oh, it's a UFO. It was like a weird little thought I was having. And then also there was an owl that was hooing, okay, at night. It was hooing, and I was listening to the owl hooing. I remember this now. It's like a very important detail. And right before the footsteps started, the hooing stopped. And for whatever reason, so it was completely silent. And so for whatever it was, the hooing stopped from the owl. And anyways, so the footsteps kept getting louder and louder. And I was starting to get nervous because it didn't actually sound like it might not be a deer, like it might be a person. And so, yeah, I have no idea if the light thing I saw had is it related in any way, but just for whatever reason, I do remember that detail. And so, all of a sudden the footsteps were getting real loud and they were coming right towards me. And I was starting to get kind of nervous because I was like, oh my God, this sounds like a really big deer if it is a deer. And what if it's not a deer? I still didn't think it was like a Sasquatch or anything like that, but I just didn't know what it was. So it was coming closer and closer. And then I was just sitting there all nervous and my heart started like pounding in my chest. And like all of a sudden the automatic blower for the hot tub kicks on. And this thing is probably 10, maybe 15 feet away from me, but probably more like 10. And it just stops dead in its tracks, okay, when it hears the automatic heater for the hot tub turn on. And for whatever reason, right when it stopped, it's like I knew that it knew that I was there. Like it didn't know, I don't think it knew I was there before. And the reasons why are if you're in a hot tub, it was about 100 degrees or more, about 101, I think it was set at. So your body temperature is not detectable, okay, because it's below the hot tub temperature. Your scent is not detected because there's quite a bit of chlorine in there, and it would just kill your scent. And then I was like quiet the whole time too. So that's why I kind of feel like I caught it off guard. But anyways, so it stood there silently, right? And I still hadn't looked at it yet. But I knew it was there because I had heard it. And so what I did was I was scared shitless at this point. And I started looking up over the lip of the like hot tub side to see what was there in the darkness where I'd heard it stop. And this is a screened in porch, mind you. So I guess there is a somewhat of a barrier between you and whatever's there, but it's like only a screen, you know? And so, I just like didn't see anything at first. All I saw was blackness, and it was just very black outside that night. For whatever reason, it was super dark. And so I didn't see anything at first. And so I looked from side to side, and then all of a sudden I just like saw it standing there. And it was super tall, like it was over 10 feet tall at least. It was a humanoid standing. It was not buff. It was not like Arnold Schwarzenegger muscled. It was skinny and tall. And I could just tell that it was standing there looking right at me. But I didn't see any eyes. I didn't see any facial features. All I saw was just a black silhouette standing there right where I had heard it stop. And it was like darker than the rest of the darkness. And it did sound like leaves crunching when it was walking. And the funny thing is that like the next day when I had told my parents about the incident, my dad had checked back there and he's like, I didn't find any dry leaves anywhere. So that was a really weird thing. But then it did have features that, like I said, the only features I can really tell you is that it was very tall, like probably 12 feet tall. And it was skinny. It was not buff. It was not like all built and muscly, like you would think of as, I guess, as a traditional Sasquatch being. I could just tell. And this is the other feeling that I had about it, is that the way that it stood there silently, and just it was like almost like a special ops soldier on alert would be, like in terms of it knew just to stand there silently and not move a muscle because it felt like it could blend in, I think. And so I saw it for sure, and I freaked out. And at that point, I jumped out of the hot tub and ran inside the house. And I made all the noise in the world at that point, just getting out. And then what I did is before I went in to lock the door and everything, I turned my back around to see if it was still there, like what I had seen, and that I wasn't just seeing things. And sure enough, it was right there, just the way I saw it the first time. And I totally freaked out. I went inside, locked the door, and I couldn't sleep all night. I did nothing but research on the internet of what the hell just happened. Like, what was that? Was it an alien? Was it like a demon? Like, was it a Sasquatch? What was it? I was definitely leaning towards Sasquatch for the most part. And here's the scariest part, God's flat earth girl. Here's the scariest part about it. When I made all that noise, it didn't move a muscle. It didn't run off into the woods. Any animal would have, no matter what. It would have run off into the woods, guaranteed. Because I had enough experience with deer and other animals to know that that's what it would do. And so that was the absolute most chilling part of the whole thing, was that I knew that it was a human or higher intelligence. And because I almost feel like it's like I said, I just somehow got the feeling during the whole incident that I felt like it was smarter and more cunning than a human, is what I felt. And so I'm still leaning towards it probably was Sasquatch, because we don't even know what Sasquatch are. And most Sasquatch encounters, like I'm subscribed to a guy named How to Hunt, I don't know. He's got 2 channels, but one of them's hunting, one of them's about Sasquatch. And anyways, Nicole, that's cool. Nice to meet you. I don't give my real name out, but it's fine. You can just call me Webb. So anyways, that's it. That's pretty much it. Like I ended up finding, that was the very first night I ever had seen Alex Jones. And then he was on the Jeff Rentz show. I don't even know if you've ever heard of Jeff Rentz, but anyways, so he was all talking about 9/11's an inside job and everything. So I learned about that like that night. And just ever since I found out about all that stuff, and I was totally hooked. Like I was I basically at that point dropped everything and researched like all day, every day, trying to figure out what was going on. Like it was like my mission. And anyway, that's my story. So that was the very first step towards me getting saved for sure. And like just knowing that the reality that I thought was real was just nothing like what I thought it was. It just like totally flipped my whole worldview upside down that night. And ever since then, I've just been going deeper into the rabbit hole. But really, I always, like I say, the bottom of the rabbit hole is Jesus Christ, is Lord. Like that is the bottom of that really is the bottom of the conspiracy rabbit hole that you're going to figure out sooner or later. I don't know how long. Sometimes it just takes people a lot longer than others. Some people never figure it out. So, but I was pretty quick to figure it out. I'd say within 2 years, I pretty much was saved. And then ever since then, my faith's just been growing and growing, because everything the world has shown me ever since 2002 and 2004, essentially, when I got saved, I guess you could say, ever since then, just everything points to it being true. That Jesus Christ is Lord. The Bible is real. Just all the lies, that Satan runs everything in the world, on the world stage. So anyway, yeah, I'll probably let you go now. I think I'll probably head out. But anyway, this guy, Captain Kirk, he makes pretty good stuff. I'll definitely probably watch his video at some point later. But it was nice to meet you, or talk to you. I know I've already met you, but good to talk to you in my stream here. And welcome you back next time. Anybody that was here or sees this in the future, if you see me pop up on a live stream, just hop in. I'll probably add chat links and stuff for other people to hop in and stuff like that. So thanks a lot, you guys, and have a great night. Amen. Praise the Lord. Thanks, every day. Give thanks every day. That's a good thing. And I will talk to you guys later. Take care.